Hello everyone, I'm in Paris at the world premiere of the Renault 5 E-Tech, the electric B-segment car that Renault uses to replace the Renault Zoe. This video is brought to you by L-Drive, EV charging network. In this video, I want to bring you all the information that I can get from Renault officials here in Paris about the Renault 5 E-Tech electric, and also to show you the car as much as I can to have a first full impression about this, what it seems to be very cool and sexy EV. Here we have an overview of the platform. Is the Ampere small platform with front wheel drive. All the power electronics are hidden in the let's say engine bay, as you have it in the combustion cars. You have the electric motor, the inverter, and the charging electronics, the power electronics, all compacted here in the front of the vehicle. The front suspension, it's a McPherson strut. I guess you can see it a bit in this video. And the charging port is this side, left driver side, which means you can also charge it at Tesla supercharger network because it's on the left side of the car. Tesla has it in the back, the charge port. You have it in the front, but anyway, the cable, even the shorter ones, will reach this charging port. The battery is not a structural part of the vehicle. You can see it here in this case. And the structure of the vehicle, it's made by metal sheets. The parts here that you can see, but the battery, it's somehow bolted under the floor of the car, and it is not part of the structure of the vehicle from the safety perspective, which means that in case of a crash or something, the battery it's more serviceable and replaceable. The rear suspension is very sophisticated. It's a 5-link suspension, multi-link suspension, something that Renault is making quite rarely. They are not throwing money into rare, sophisticated suspensions. They usually go for the torsion beam, but not in the case of this vehicle. They wanted the driving dynamics to be good, and they invested in this area of driving and sportiness of the vehicle. Let's check the interior space of the car. The seats look very comfortable, and they have this lip which is quite long, which means that you'll have a very good support for your feet, as you can see. So the seats are amongst the best in the cars in this segment, and even higher because the lip is very long, and you have very good support. Also lateral support, it is good. This front seat now it's perfect for my size, 174 meters high, and let's see how I'm sitting in the back at these body dimensions. Access is good also in the back, but I have an issue with the seat that is quite low, and I cannot insert my feet very well under the front seats. So this might be an issue for maybe taller people. Otherwise, the knee room, I find it acceptable for my size. And what I can also notice is that the seats, the rear seats, also have a long seating part. So from here to the front of the seat, you have quite a distance to have very good support for your feet. especially if you are not that tall. So in my case, even if I'm not that tall, you can see that here under my feet there are some. It is a distance, you know. So I don't have enough grip to hold properly my body. The only contact point is in this part, and here I just lose the support. So that's why I'm saying that in the back the most convenient will be for teenagers and children, because the seat offers very good support, but for smaller body sizes. The Renault 5 E-Tech has two batteries. Both are lithium-ion with NMC technology, 40 kilowatt-hour battery pack and 52 kilowatt-hour battery pack. The charging speed or the charging power is 11 kilowatts AC and 80 to 100 kilowatts DC. It's maximum 80 kilowatts DC charging for the smaller battery, 40 kilowatt hour battery, and a maximum of 100 kilowatts DC charging for the 52 kilowatt hour battery. Really nice touch to show the charging status and the level of the battery. This 5 here is illuminated, and as soon as you approach the car with the key on yourself, this will be lit, as well as the front lights of the car, and instantly you will know which is the charge level. Renault 5 is also compatible with V2L, vehicle to load technology, and V2G, vehicle to grid technology, using their smart charger developed by Mobilize. So you can't do this via other chargers, as I understand. It is about a contract and the protocol that you have to sign with Renault, Mobilize being the link between you and your energy provider. Obviously, this legislation stuff regarding electricity differs quite much from country to country, but now they offer this system in France, Germany, and UK. So you can use the V2G system of the Renault 5 in 2024, 2025 in these 3 countries, and probably they will expand further more in other countries as well as the time passes. This is the adapter for the vehicle to load. After inserting this into the socket of the car, you need to press this button, right?
Exactly.
Wait for 2 seconds?
No, nearly 1
instant.
second, and you plug whatever you want.
Okay.
And you can schedule on your smartphone,
But
or in the car the level of battery you don't want to go.
Is this different from country to country? Because some
Yeah.
countries have a Schuko,
Yeah.
some Italians have a different thing.
7 different
Outputs.
standards for the output. Yeah.
7 different standards.
Yeah.
This is
Because
crazy,
overall,
you know.
It's the same that it's quite crazy in Europe, I know.
Renault design and engineering team decided to put also some nice accessories, like is this basket for the baguette. You can hook it here, and also in the suite of accessories you can have this cup holders with like a trash bin and a space to store crayons or maybe makeup elements, things like that. Also, these parts are removable, and they are 3D printed with the 5 logo on it. The quality of the inside, it's very, very good. This one is soft to touch, it's denim-like. It is in part recycled. A huge part of this material, it is coming from recycled stuff. And yeah, you can have here the accent light and some decorative glossy black, it seems to me, glossy black here, and the light below. Also illumination here on the side. Very, very good attention to detail in this vehicle. And even though the infotainment system and the driver display are now in some sort of a demo mode, you can have a clear idea about how it will look like. Everything I touch, it's not working. The car is in a demo mode, but you can have a clear indication about the design of the instrument cluster and the infotainment system. On top of the infotainment system, you have 3 buttons. This one is to shut it off, and you have the volume buttons here, up and down. I will now leave you with the Renault officials for you to find out interesting stuff about the Renault 5 directly from them.
Let's go back to the 70s. Why the 70s? As you may know, Renault 5, the first, came out in 72. Those times in France, for example, were synonymous with social crisis, movement of liberation. I think about young people and women. And this car, if it came out in 72, it means that we first designed, then developed the car before. In France, for example, it was more, I don't know if you know that period, it is May 68. In France, it's very well known as a very, let's say, challenging time, socially challenging time. So, if we designed that car at this time, we made the car thinking of all those changements. I can give you an example. One example is the truck. The truck has been made to be able to hold the volume of a supermarket cart. Another thing, a second example. Later, there was this big oil crisis. When we released the car, the version GTL came out, able to manage to drop below the symbolic 5 liters per 100 kilometers. Well, what I want to say is when we design, when we create this car, it was also to answer the social challenges back in the days. Let's continue. This car is finally a success. We sold more than 5 million units, all together with Renault 5, Super 5, and also Turbo version. Well, let's continue moving ahead in time and stop in January 2021. January 2021 was that time we launched the very important strategic plan, Renault Vision, by Luca Di Meo. This plan was accompanied with the Renault 5 prototype. You all know this car, very important for us. This show car was made to actually say one thing, a big statement: democratize electric vehicle. Later on, November 2023, we launched this very 100 electric dedicated entity, Ampere. Well, as I said before, we have this very big statement, democratize electric vehicle. So Ampere was made to help us doing that. It's a prepare for electric vehicles, gathering all the experts from design, from engineering, from manufacturing, with all the EV experience that we have, all put together in Ampere entity. Well, history is also today. This is why we are here today. With Renault 5 E-Tech Electric, we are also answering the challenges of society right now. I can say frugality, all the work that we're doing to reduce the carbon footprints, the energy transition. We think and we work to make Renault 5 E-Tech Electric an answer to those challenges. Well, we want to actually create a car for electric transition. We also work on another thing. We worked on the pumps to make them in Europe with all the suppliers not too far to push the local manufacturing and the local suppliers all around the work that we do in France and in Europe.
Hello everybody. So here it is. It's been quite a challenge. Maybe you noticed in January 2021 we presented the concept car of the Renault 5, the Renault 5 prototype. And the challenge we had is to put exactly that into production. So again, quite a challenge to, even though the concept car was fairly realistic compared to some others, it was yet a challenge. And equally, we wanted to also bring the interior to the same standard. So from concept to reality, that was really what was at stake. Now the approach we had on this project was to obviously get inspired, reactivate our icon of the 70s, the Renault 5, but we got the inspiration from 3 cars, in fact. When you ask in the street, for you, what is a Renault 5? People tend to remember a few details from the Renault 5, the Super 5, and the turbo version, the red car that's next room. So in the collective memory, it's a compilation of 3 cars, in fact, the spirit of the Renault 5. So we tried to make an analysis of what was, cool and interesting about those cars. So the front lights, for example, are coming from the very first one. And I don't know if you remember this, but there was an amazing marketing stunt, a marketing coup in the early 70s when they launched the first Renault 5. They invaded some streets in Paris with many cars along the sidewalk, and they painted cartoon eyes on the front lights. So it made it instantly cute and desirable and vibrant and with a strong personality. And so that's what we tried to do, with this highlight on the light, for example, like on a manga, or a cartoon. So this comes from the first car and this marketing stunt, for example. But if you look at the wider shoulders, they come from the turbo, because the little Renault 5 was all slick on the body side. If you look at this red underlining line running around the roof, that's coming from the turbo probably, even though the original 5 had a chrome detail in this area. So this today and in the future in the streets, on the roads, will make this car very noticeable, for instance. So you'll see as we will go around the car, with you a bit later in the workshops, you will notice, all those little things, those little details that actually make the car special. But it all starts with proportions. And proportions today make 50% of a good design. And since we have dedicated EV platforms, this allows us to reach ideal proportions. There's no compromise. It's dedicated to EV. We can put the wheels in the corners, we can have short overhangs, we can have design ratios, design proportions that are the best possible. So this takes us already to a good standard of a believable car, an attractive car, a well-executed design for a car. And if I go back to some details in the rear, again we'll spend more time later, but there's a lot of little tricks, of course, like those long lights, wrapping around the shoulders, and so on, but there's a special focus on aerodynamics on the back of the car. A Renault 5 is not exactly an aerodynamic car, if you look at the little cars next room. And if you want to recognize a Renault 5, it has to have rounded corners, which is really a bad idea in aerodynamics. So on the roof, along the tail lights, on the bottom of the bumper, even the wheel design, we found tricks with our colleagues from aerodynamics to make it really good. Still it looks like a rounded, nice, generous car. And there's a few tricks that we will look at later that enhance, push further the aerodynamic performance. Just as an example, what we did on the roof, what we did on the light, what we did on the wheel design, they bring, in terms of autonomy, 8 plus 6 plus 8 kilometers of extra autonomy. So just doing a nice design and actually crafting everything carefully with aerodynamics in mind brings so much more autonomy, so it's very important for an EV car, obviously. If I zoom into the interior, because the interior was never shown actually as a concept car, well, same principle. We looked at the historical cars and we saw this two-layer dashboard, we saw these lines in front of the passenger with stitching, for example, and it existed on a few versions of the Renault 5. If you look at the instrument panel on the old car, it was a huge chunk of black plastic with counters and needles inside, and even you could see the screws, very 70s. And now it's becoming pixels, obviously, but same principle of a dedicated area that now looks more like a big smartphone, a big smart device instead of a huge chunk of plastic. But same logic of a basic, super functional, yet highly vibrant interior for the user. Same goes for the seats, and you will see that later also. We got inspiration from the turbo this time, because we wanted good side support, but also a generous, comfortable seat. So hopefully you will sit in the cars later and you will experience that, I'm sure. So before handing it over, if I zoom out a little bit, we didn't want to create or to design a vintage looking car. Maybe unlike some of our competitors, and it's of course very respectful what they do, we wanted to make sure that people from my generation, for example, would relate, this car would resonate with what I lived as a child or a teenager, or my first car was a Renault 5 when I drove around, for the first time in my life, and so on. So people like of my age lived those experiences. So it's talking to me. But if I think about my kids, which are yet still young, maybe they don't care so much. Maybe they are not even interested about these old cars. So we designed this car so that it will resonate also for younger generations for what it is, without having to refer to any of that backstory maybe. So that's why it's not a vintage design exercise. It's we are using an icon from our history, but we are designing it as a modern or even postmodern futuristic car. We have that in mind. And you could experiment something if you do a close-up anywhere on the car, you frame anywhere, you will never see something vintage or feeling vintage. So that's the philosophy we had for this car, and we will detail this much further with you guys in the workshops. So I'll hand it over back to Celia. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gilles. Okay, before I close this session, I wanted to just take some time to talk about the platform. It's a very new generation platform that has been made. It's unique in Europe. We have here a demonstrator in the workshop, the EV workshop, the best of EV Light workshop. So the expert will be able to give you all the details. We work hard on this platform to bring something very special. You won't see that today, but I'm sure you will have a big smile on your face when you'll be driving this car later this year. So we work on fun to drive, very important for us. Also, it's a 100% EV car, electric car. So we work, as we used to do, on the charging experience, AC, DC, at home, in charging points in the streets, public charging points. But also, we work on a very special charger, bidirectional charger, in a car, enable us to provide to our client V2L, vehicle to loud. We get into details with that in the workshops too. Third thing I want to add is all the work we've done with the humanized tech. One of the elements is going to explain in design, but also at the workshop later. There is Google in the car, of course. We bring the best of the market in the car, but we add to that this very special travel companion, Renault. We will talk about it later during the workshop. But I wanted to just sum up what will the big innovation with 105 E-Tech Electric.
So, my name is Paula Fabregat, and I am design project director in charge of the AB segment, so small cars. And it's an honor to be here today because, as you know, finally we present this amazing car that we were waiting during 3 years. So I like to start from the very beginning, when we start to do with the prospective team the first sketches, and when we discover the sketches, we say, wow, here we have something to do. So we make a mock-up that unfortunately this mock-up arrived not in the best period, so we had to keep it. And when Luca De Meo arrived to the company, we present as usual all the projects, the current projects validated on the big meeting room. And we decide to put the little mock-up on the corner, only to know if something happens. And Luca De Meo arrived on the middle of the meeting room, look the cars and take only 5 seconds to say, I like this one, we have to do this one, and will be the symbol of Renaulution. So the adventure starts, and we produce the show car that you already know in the past, in the 2021, and he made us a challenge, a big challenge, only one, but capital. the challenge was to create exactly, to bring exactly the same car, the show car, to the reality. And I think that today, I'm sure that today I can tell you that we do it for sure, as you can see, but we do it better, much better, for different reasons. First of all, for some details that I'm going to explain you, but first of that, we can speak about proportions, because the first step with this adventure was to introduce the electrical platform, keeping the ideal proportions from the show car. So what is the ideal proportions? We can speak about wheels, is the first step. Wheels at 18 inch with 680 of diameter. I think that you will not find another car on this segment with this size. And most important, we apply this size in all levels to keep the perfect proportions. So second, the wheels in the position of the wheels, so in each corner of the car, so we have an overhand on the front and on the rear really short, so we're speaking about compact city, and the line belts on the perfect position. So all these ingredients in less than 4 meters, 3 meters 92 to be precise. So all these ingredients, at the end, we have the result, as Gilles just explained us, a car that everybody will recognize. Everybody will recognize, and I can say even that probably the people turn their head to follow the car on the street. So perfect proportions, ideal proportions, and after we bring from the past all the details that we keep on the collective memory. The charge indicator, amazing. At the beginning of the show car we had, I said that we make even better, so on the show car we had a plastic piece that was to charge the car. We decided that in terms of ergonomy it's better to have on lateral, so we apply this charge indicator. So this is amazing. I don't think that again there are another car that make these details, iconic details, because we are speaking about a future icon, apply this kind of details. But before to start with the details, the car will be recognizable, but the car is even more human, because we communicate a lot on the past with the icon R5, about the eyes, for example. I don't know if you remember the marketing event with all the cars with the eyelashes on the street. So they communicate already with eyes, but this time we go further and we introduce pupils on the eyes. And thanks to these pupils, when you approach the car with the welcome seconds, she will wink at you. So only to say hello. And after, she speaks with you because she will give you immediately the charge of the battery. This is immediately, only because you have the key with you and the car reconnects you, you arrive, wink at you, and after give you immediately the charge of the battery. And this is important because this is the way that we want to take in terms of technology. We want that the technology becomes immediate, becomes intuitive. Because today I have a Megane, I love my Megane, but with the Megane I have to take the application, and not everybody is comfortable with applications. Depends on the age, depends on the people, and if not, I have to open the door to see the cluster and to see the battery. So this is immediately. It's something nice, something different, but this is immediately. So, and for sure that make reference to the grille that we had already on the icons on the hood. I think that everybody remember. If not, we have the cars just on the hall. So other details, for example, the fog lamps from the icon that was a rectangular form. So now we are playing with this round square. We are playing, all the car play with this squarish round. So if we turn a little bit the car, we have the lateral. We make a lot of attention. We take care with the volumes because precisely for this square round, the border is quite fragile. We don't want to be too square, we don't want to be too round, but we wanted to keep this feeling from the icons, this squarish round. So the body, we take a lot of careful about the lines, precise lines, and the sculpture to find this perfect border between two sides. So the ring the red ring that you can see on the prototype, the first one of the first cars, comes from the R5. I don't know in English the gouttière, but the first R5 had a metal piece, and this for water, to distribute the water. And after, Turbo applied this rim as a decoration, and this rim turned around the car, around the windows and the spoiler. So for sure that we keep it. This is a big signature for this car. After, if you come here, rear, Jill start to speak about aerodynamic. So when we have a design with a roundness on the rear, it's extremely bad for the aerodynamic. I think that you know better than me, the air comes through and make the turbulence and to stop absorb the car. So we needed something that cut this trajectory and make that the air comes straight. So for that reason, we decided to apply a glass that comes inside the function, so you can't touch the functions. We keep the horizontal lines to enhance this roundness of the rear, but we have the tail in vertical. It's a kind of blade, and this blade helps us to take the air, flow the air straight. So this is for me a masterpiece, because this is an extremely rich element in terms of design. Remember the heritage with the turbo, and at the same time it's really efficient for the aerodynamic. Even this line here, it's really efficient. So as Gilles said, with the spoiler, we win the spoiler from turbo for sure. We win 8 kilometers of autonomy, 6 kilometers of autonomy, and with the wheel, 8 kilometers of autonomy. And this is capital for electric car. And if you know, for example, there are a lot of cars, more Japanese, but in global, that now the rear is really squarish. And in fact, it's not trendy. Could be trendy, but it's for the aero. It's not for because it's a fashion volumes. So another thing, something happened on the rear, something disappeared. What?
The symbol.
Exactly, the logo. And why disappeared the logo? Is the first time that we removed the logo on the rear. In the front we have for sure, because it's a Renault. But it's a special Renault, will be an icon again. And for that reason, we don't introduce the identifiers, the Renault identifiers. You know already all the lineup. We have horizontal headlamps and vertical derails that make the link with the logo. So for this car, we avoid completely the identifiers of Renault, because this car has his own character, charisma, and it's an icon. So we take out from the lineup and will be completely different. And the treatment is completely different. Another journalist yesterday, for example, asked me about the Rafale side view with the lines super sculpture, super voluptuous, if I may. But we are for sure that we take a lot of care of the body, but in different way. We are not speaking about the same cars. It's completely different. So we avoid the logo and we apply 5. And the 5 will be the icon of this car, the logo of this car. And the 5 we treat really carefully also, because it's all nearly yearly, in fact. All right, so this is more or less for exterior. Later we can continue if you have questions. Let's take a look for the interior. So even if we had to do a compromise, because we say that this car is electric and the icon was popular in this car, we will popularize the electrification. So we have to present this car with a perfect price, in fact. So I think that it's amazing the result, because the car it's extremely rich. And the interior, again the same approach. We take the past and we bring with an interpretation. So modern interpretation and technological interpretation. For example, the screens. You remember for sure the round speedometers inside, the plastic box. So now we have the same language with this squarish round box, but now we have for sure the super high-tech screens, for sure the last generation. We have the seats turbo. The seats you can recognize immediately turbo, with the tulip form that embrace you, and the letter H on the graphic. And this is a really interesting exercise, because when you take something from the past, you forbidden the vintage style, and you do something different, an interpretation, at the end the result is a seat that it's nothing to do with the normal seat, standard seats from the other cars. So at the end the result is an interior that you have a cocoon feeling. You feel at home, in fact, because you have a softness on the dashboard. I don't know if you have seen the roof, because you have embossing. So you are soft embossing on the front, embossing on the roof, and the seats that envelop to you. So at the end, this feeling, it's a home. It's even as if you are on your sofa at home. So this is exactly the idea from the interior, to have this furniture feeling, this even product design interior. So, a lot of surprise. Let's see the screen to understand the rake walk, the different levels. And after I will show you the different accessories also. So, future icon. Tac. So it's exterior, body colors. So at the beginning of the project, we imagine the design team, imagine the car with pop colors, because we are speaking about the most fun car on the lineup. Most fun, most pop. So at the beginning we say, hey, we have to apply yellow as the show car, for sure. This is the first study. And after we play with green. Amazing green. If you see all the purpurine on this car, we don't have opaque colors. Everything is metallic. We have 5, because we are speaking about 5. We will see the future, because we will apply other colors in the future. But for the launch, we are speaking about 5. So 5 colors, yellow and green. The green, as I said, also metallic, amazing green, and is the free color. Why is the free color? Because we want to see all these pop cars on the street. So I hope that we will see a lot of yellow and green on the street. Second step, for sure the product department tell us, hey, come on, you have to apply also neutral colors. Hey, oh no, come on, neutral colors for this car doesn't work. In fact, it was an amazing surprise, because when we paint this car in white, it's amazing white, because it's white nacré, so it's a special white. But when we painted the car, we say, wow, it's amazing, it's super chic. And in fact, this car has many, many facets, and depends how do you present it, with colors, with accessories, with interior, the car becomes different. It's really personal, and this is an amazing surprise for us. So, neutral colors, white, black and blue. Everything, as I said, metallic. Free color, amazing green. Wheels, as I said, everything with 8-inch. So wheel cover, I think that you recognize the Heritage. So I love Disco. And even the names is nice, Disco, Techno, Chrono. So Disco, Heritage, Techno, exactly the same as the show car, and Chrono. And Chrono have another story. At the beginning of the project, this wheel had only 10 arms. But Luca De Meo loved watches. So he suggests to put 12 instead of 10. So we applied 12, and we propose, and we do it, the 5 in the perfect place, just like a watch. So nice story. So you have a really different wheels, again, to enhance the different characters of the car. So the interior, we break the rules again, and we avoid the dark colors that normally we use for the first level, and we apply light colors. So first of all, medium grays for seats and door panel, no, on seats, sorry, and dashboard. Dashboard is injected, but we apply white to give the maximum luminosity to the interior. And we develop also a specific texture that I can share with you. For sure, little squares. You can see the up. Have you seen? With particles, recycled particles. So we apply these little squares to link with the design language of this car. Sorry. So I think that even if we are speaking about the first level, it's amazing interior. A lot of luminosity and white. So for the techno, what is the most timeless piece of clothes during decades and all ages? Jeans. So because techno will be the best seller, we wanted to create interior timeless, but tremendously trendy. Even if you break the fabric, will be trendy, no? Yeah. So we apply in techno jean. It's something different also for the other cars. And iconic sunk, exuberant, colorful. So we apply yellow as the show car. So why yellow and why colorful? The maximum color, because this version on the future we will change. We will propose different collections, different limited editions, different really fast as possible. We are trying to do it one by year, so we are going really fast. We start to, this is the top of the iceberg, but I can tell you that we have a lot of things right now that we are cooking. So exuberant, colorful, and the idea is with the next collections to reinforce the different, to use the opportunity to show the different personalities of this car. So, in terms of sustainability, we can keep, even this slide was do it 1 week ago, but we make the calculation again, and we are even better than that. We have 26.6. The materials from the circular economy. So this is important. With New Scenic, we announced 25, so we try to do better and better and better. So now we can announce 26.6. For example, for the interior, we had 100% the fabrics, recycled fabrics from Techno and Collection. So again, we work on this direction for sure, pushing really strong. So if you want, I can show you different levels with the materials and accessories. So here we have evolution, first step. White, this is the medium gray. We have the French flag for sure. And this is the body colors. I have only one color that is forbidden, and this the green for iconic, because we have a yellow interior. And with green doesn't match very good. But when you have the body color on the plant, it's so easy after to, if after I want to do a green collection, I can take the green. So the things will change, depends of what we want to tell you on the future and to propose you. So this is the embossing on the roof, and this is the jean with brown. And after we have the iconic, and we have the embroidery, the 5 on the seats, and this is the 2 options for the rim around the windows. You can apply red or gold, subtle gold matte. And these 2 colors, you can apply it or techno or iconic. You cannot, the evolution, we don't have the rim around the windows. All right? And we don't have the pupils on the evolution. It's the only details. The rest, everything is open. So you cannot imagine this car without accessories, right? So we apply the accessories. We have First of all, for the exterior, before to start here, we have the exterior. We have two patterns. One more sporty, a big 5 on the roof, that with lines in gradation, in red and matte black. So this is sporty character, dynamic character. And after we have something more product graphic, and this is a pattern with different 5 that we can apply with yellow and subtle yellow again and gray. So this is the patterns, the stickers that you can choose at the end of the configurator. So you buy the car, and at the end you can decide if you want to personalize with the stickers the exterior. But the interior, you can personalize also the e-shifter, the gear shift, because I think the most important pieces is the steering wheel and the e-shifter, because you are touching every day. So we apply 5 patterns as usual, because we are speaking about 5. We have the French flag. We have the 5 in yellow and white. We have also but unfortunately I don't have the prototypes yet, but we have also an 1972 historical, and we have something to show the irreverent character of this car. What the 5? Yeah, so, do you want to see on the copy to understand? Yeah. Come with me. You take out by yourself. You don't need to go to the dealer or whatever. You receive with the car, and you can plug it as you want. And this is another nice.
This is a print?
This is a prototype to show you.
This is a prototype.
Yeah,
okay.
the 3D print to apply again different patterns. After we can see the others. For example, we introduce emotional with the I love R5. This is like that up, and you can apply it here. Okay. Up. Or you can. This one it's more like that. Tac tac tac. Or if you want, you can apply another kind of boxes. Up. Tu peux m'amener les organizers avec des produits. And the organizer also, because I make usually I make up on the car, this is on the stop and to win time. So this is perfect for my things. Can you see it? And you can put it as you want. So this is the first step, because we choose the 3D print technology because open the doors and we can do whatever we want later. So this is the first step to see if the customers are interested or not. And if they are interested, we'll apply. I have a lot of ideas inside Renault to propose in the future, more poetry, more humor, more love, to fall in love of the car. So we have different options to continue playing. But right now we have different patterns, we have different colors. So when all the combinations, exterior, body colors, two tones, the interior, colors, again, patterns, at the end each car will be unique. And I have another surprise. I'm going to tell you a story. You are friends, and because this car is made in France, I think that you know already. So you go to the bakery when you finish the work, and you go at home with your baguette. But where do you put the baguette? The seats? No way, no way, no way. So we can apply it. You can put your baguette in your basket. Sorry. Up. So this element is so special because encapsulates the tradition, the European tradition, because everybody made this kind of baskets. Every country have this tradition. We introduced the habits of the French, but not only French. I think that in Europe everybody take the bread and the baguettes and at the same time I love because she showed this irreverent car because who could propose a basket a basket only the materials to introduce this kind of materials on the interior is amazing.
Welcome to the best of EV life by Ampere. My name is Sylvain Darfel. I'm a Renault 5 revenue leader. I worked on this project since 2.5 years now, so nearly the beginning of the project. I'm here today to give you more detail concerning product, and I'm here with my colleague Vincent, who will talk more in detail about the platform. So, Renault 5 is a real urban car, compact, less than 4 meters long, 3.92 meters to be precise. It's 13 centimeters shorter than a Clio. But it's a real versatile urban car. It has a huge capacity, 5 seats, a 2.54 meters wheelbase, not so far from Clio in fact, only 4 centimeters less. Above all, it has a very, very generous trunk capacity of 326 liters, the best of any urban electric car on the market now. And with a smart storage compartment for the charging cable dedicated for it, so you don't have to throw it in the trunk. Concerning the battery offer, we find the same duality city highway with a double offer. On one hand, you have the urban range with the 40 kilowatt per hour battery, offering up to 300 kilometer range. And on the other hand, you have the comfort range with the 52 kilowatt per hour battery, offering up to 400 kilometer range. In fact, depending on their needs and uses, customers have the choice of the battery that suits them best, because the 2 batteries will be available on all trims. Again, same versatility for town driving or highway concerning the ADAS assistance system, ADAS for the city, like, for example, entry parking, but also new ADAS, like emergency braking when reversing or safe occupant exit. It's a signal that warns people when you open the door and the car is approaching, okay, not to go down of the car and be injured. On the road, we have ADAS coming from upper segment that you have seen on Megane or Scenic E-Tech Electric. Best example is active driver assist, okay, that is linked with geolocation and mapping data in order to anticipate roundabouts, bends, change in speed limit, and to adapt the behavior of the car. Renault 5 also embeds a safety tool that is also available on Scenic, named Safety Coach. It provides drivers who want it with personalized advice about their way of driving and ADAS uses in order to have a safer way of driving, a more responsible way of driving. I leave the floor now to Vincent, who will give you some detail about the platform. Thank you.
Thank you. So I'm Vincent Teuillon. I'm the platform chief engineer for Ampere small platform, who is the first 100% EV platform of Eco 5, Renault 5 E-Tech. And so I will this morning give you some key elements, give you some details about key components of the platform from which we were able to transform the dreams of the design to reality. So we are speaking a lot about an emotional car, so we have to integrate some mechanical components, some chassis components to make it emotional. The platform has been especially designed for a full EV application, so it will be dedicated only to EV vehicle. The central unit is we will be able to integrate our battery. And in terms of genesis, we had to comply with some styling requirements such as big wheels, short overhangs, and it was one of the DNA of the platform. We need also to make specific attention on the weight management. In terms of weight, the maximum will be around 450 kg for the heaviest version with a 52 kilowatt per hour battery. And for a lightest version, we can save around 100 kilo with less equipment or the small battery. Okay, let's deep dive on the platform components. So first about the battery. So this is a full new battery that has been developed for Renault 5 E-Tech. This is an NMC technology with 4 big modules where we have been integrated the cells. So the 4 big modules is for the 52 kilowatt per hour, and when we in the 40 kilowatt per hour, we took one module out of the battery casing, which is common for all applications. There is no additional component inside the casing to prevent from crash, for example. All the crash and design has been integrated in the body structures, so that we can dedicate all the room available in the casing to fill in with cells. It's improved in terms of architectures. In terms of weight, we could save around 25 kg compared to current Zoe. So it was also some key items that we need to pay attention during the battery development. Okay, about the chassis components, we have been integrated the multi-link rear axle technology. So there is 2 let's say keywords for the multi-link is the responsiveness and the comfort. This kind of rear axle usually is used in upper segment, in C segment or D segment vehicles, and to improve the dynamism, the responsiveness of this car, we get it on this Eco 5, Renault 5 E-Tech, to improve lateral guidance, for example. The answer of the chassis in curves, in small curves, in large curves, is very optimized with this kind of technology compared to conventional torsion beam, for example, that we usually have in this kind of segments. Also, we could benefit of a lower center of gravity thanks to the integration of the battery in the central unit under the floor. All those elements, a multi-link rear axle, the lower center of gravity, it gives you a good balance of the cars in motion. So now I will detail also some two elements of the chassis also we focus on to improve this emotional feeling. Is first the steering. With our engineers, we work a lot on the turning ratio, on the steering ratio. So with we aim to get 13.7, that is much lower than the current Clio, for example. In terms of during your maneuver, with this kind of ratio, you won't need to turn too much the steering wheel when you need to make a big maneuver. So from lock to lock is only 2.6 turns. So it's very direct, it's very dynamism. So when you are also in motions, you will have the behavior of the car very direct. You won't need to move a lot the steering wheel to entering a small turning, for example, a small corner, for example. We also work on the maniability of the car. We are at 10.3 meters in turning diameters. Even if we succeed to have big wheels, so sometimes it's not very easy to keep the maniability of the car with big wheels. And we have a 670 millimeter wheels in the car that is bigger than current Clio, for example. And it was one also of the big requests from the styling to have this kind of the big wheels well implemented at the corner of the vehicle. So one word about the braking system. So it's a full new braking system by wire. So it is by wire because we disconnect the mechanical system, the pedals, to the hydraulics. So we have no direct link, so that we could put a very specific attention of the tuning of the pedal to make it very direct. We are talking about pedal feel on this car to improve the dynamism, the direct feeling. We work on that, and it was one of the best performance we succeed to have with the systems that we could tune according to this requirement of very direct. After, we could also benefit from the electric system for the regeneration of the energy through the integration of the one box braking to our engine compartment. So for the braking, that's all. So regarding powertrains offer, we have 3 levels of power. So with 70 kilowatt per hour for the smaller, 90 and 110 kilowatt per hour. It's a technology derivated from current Megane E-Tech. So without rare earths, without permanent magnets, to reduce the environmental impact. The motor has been designed also less compact to fit with our engine compartment for better capacity. And also we have some weight improvement around 25 kg that has been reached for this powertrain. Also, this car will be able to have a trailing system, so with a trailer around 500 kilograms. I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Sylvain.
Thank you. Of course, when we are talking about electric vehicle, charging system, charging experience is a key success factor. On Renault 5 E-Tech Electric, we want it simple and smart. Simple because on all versions, as a standard, we will have a 3-phase 11 kilowatt AC charger for home charging on public AC station. And for fast charging, we will propose on the 90 kilowatt powertrain a 80 kilowatt DC socket to charge the 40 kilowatt per hour battery. And with the 110 kilowatt powertrain, a 100 kilowatt DC socket to recharge the 52 kilowatt per hour battery. In both cases, we'll be able to go from 15 to 80% of charging in 30 minutes. Renault 5 is also the first car among a long series to embed a bidirectional charger. This new charger allows us to bring new technology to make charging system more smart. The first one is V2L, vehicle to load. By using an optional adapter, you can plug any electric device to the battery, okay? Such as a kettle, Hoover, coffee machine, whatever you want, because the output power is up to 3.7 kilowatt, so you can plug everything. Second technology, vehicle to grid. Vehicle to grid gives the opportunity to the customer to reduce the charging cost of his car at home by 50%. Why? Because you can, when you plug your car, you can resell energy stored in the battery to the grid, It also gives a benefit for the customer to use green electricity, low carbon electricity. This technology will be available at launch in France, UK and Germany, and we are studying how to expand it in Europe. Simple, with plug and charge. Plug and charge, in fact, when you arrive on a DC charging point, compatible DC1, on the highway, for example, with Unity, you just have to plug your car. You don't need credit cards, app or a badge, whatever you want, because the car recognizes the charging station and the charge began automatically with a secure transaction, okay? A high level of security to assure the communication. This system relies on a mobilized charge pass network with more than 600,000 charging points AC and DC around Europe. Renault 5 is a tech car with a lot of high-level technology, as we have already seen. This technology are always applies wisely in order to give drivers and passengers an enhanced onboard experience, and we will see how in detail. First, of course, Renault 5 will embed Open Air Link with Google built-in, the same system you have already seen on Megane and Scenic. Why? Because it's the best system on the market, in fact. We have improved the system using first users' feedback, okay? Of course, it takes into account the way the driver behavior, outside temperature and vehicle data. But the main asset of the system is the electric road planner. When you schedule your trip, in fact, the system will be able to precondition the battery, okay, to put it at the best temperature to reduce your charging time when arriving at the stop-off. We also have with Google Play, with more than 50 applications available in the car, some of them specially designed for Renault brand. So you can listen to music, you can have information about the surrounding area when you are on your trip. You also can play or watch movie when you are at the charging station. And Renault 5 is the first to propose Renault, the virtual companion. Renault is the one who knows the car best, in fact. It will help customers in their daily usage, in electric transition, because Renault is an EV specialist, okay? It can answer questions and help customers like, hey Renault, schedule my charge for tomorrow AM, or hey Renault, how can I optimize the range of my battery? But he is also able to answer the 200 most frequently asked questions by our customers, such as, hey Renault, how can I connect my phone to the car? But his strength is to be proactive. In fact, he can propose to the driver to change some setting in the car. For example, when you are arriving in the traffic jam, you were on the sports mode, and Renault will propose to switch to Eco mode in order to optimize the range of the battery. Thanks to artificial intelligence, ChatGPT, Renault will be able to answer a very, very large number of questions in a very smooth and conversational way. This presentation is now over, and feel free to ask questions. It will be a pleasure for us. Thank you.
The model that started everything in the B segment for Renault, the coolness, the cool factor, was this green car, launched in 1972. This is the original Renault 5. Obviously, the sexiest of all was the Renault 5 Turbo back in the 80s, because this was the car that everybody wanted to drive and to own. It is one of the founders of the hot hatch segment back in the 80s, a car with a strong DNA and a very strong road presence, as you can still see today. Even today, it is such a beautiful car to watch. Looking at its heritage, Renault decided to make a comeback for the Renault 5 in 2024 as a replacement for Renault Zoe. Talking to Renault officials about the sound system of the Renault 5, I found out that the car can be optionally equipped with a Harman Kardon sound system. They also offer it on Renault Megane E-Tech and on Scenic E-Tech, but the difference is that the Renault 5 has an evolution of the Harman Kardon that Renault usually offers on these vehicles. The base trim levels have an Arcamis sound system, not Harman Kardon, but Arcamis, which is also good from what I know from the past on Renault cars. Now let's take a look at what it was to have a Renault 5 back in 1972. Obviously the car is very nice with this vivid color. Very good access to the vehicle. The door opens almost to 90 degrees. This is your grab handle for the door. Wow, this is quite a new vehicle. I mean, it's 8,896 kilometers. Very simple instrument cluster, nothing digital there. Very, very basic motoring for the time. And a very nice interior. You can see these elements, this design that inspired Renault designers for the new car. The gear shifter here, maybe this was also a source of inspiration because now you have it behind the steering wheel, but it's also quite an impressive lever on the new car, as impressive as it was for the old car. Very clean design in this area, clean and clear space, visible pieces, sheets of metal everywhere, and the roof, the pattern of the roof, also embossed, looks like the one that you have in the new car. So very obvious that the new vehicle, the new Renault 5, reminds a generation about the cars that were on the streets when they were young. And as Renault said, it is also the new Renault 5. It is also a car that can appeal to the younger public, just as it is, not being a fashion icon or an old school vehicle, but also a statement on its own. Let's check the trunk too. Very roomy for the size of the car, quite roomy. And it's interesting what kind of system they used back in the days to keep the hatch open without any dampers, you know. You only have this lever and it does the job. Plastic parts, old plastic parts, what they had in the days. Yeah. So simple and basic motoring. Don't forget to push that like button. Apparently it helps the YouTube algorithm to give more visibility to this video, and also maybe you consider subscribing to this channel if you like my work and how I cover new cars. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.